and Pachinki. 17 have successfully stolen that away. Method have gone down to the southwest. But what I wanted to point out about Primorsk was that Na'Vi decided to go back down there.
Absolutely.
Instead of North George, because the plane route was directly over it. It gives them extra time to loot up.
And with this first circle coming out for game number 3, it's a much more going to be happy not to see a far northern shift.
Yeah, this is going to be good for a lot of teams, especially the one central, but here's going to be a fight for a car, and Turtle's going to pull away from this. Texas had the advantage. He was just marginally closer, and now he just needs to hide behind a tree. Texas is not going to bother sticking around, or is he? Allergen just proning down, trying not to get spotted. Texas tried to fake out Turtle there, but Turtle back behind, well, not a tree, but a ledge. Either way, they're just faking Texas out. The question is, does he want to hang around here, try and see if he can't get a run over kill, or does he not want to waste that much time?
Yeah, and here we see him popping down the hill. He's able to get a knock on the Allergene with the vehicle. We can see that Texas is hungry for kills in that UAZ. That UAZ front grille going to be muddled with blood and body parts, as Allergene is our first blood of game number 3.
But look at this Method. They did leave Pachinki, but they are not out of a fight because they have ran directly into Victory 5, and we just saw Victory 5 roll through a lot of different teams. Mole Man, once again, taking a lot of damage in the initial engagement, having to run back upstairs to use a nice little first aid kit that he's picked up early on in the game. That's very helpful for him right now, but he's being crashed in with a buggy. Landman coming directly into this building, surrounded on both sides by 2 players of Victory 5. He's going to toss down a smoke to delay any push up the steps, but he's going to need to get support from his teammates. I don't think any of them are close enough. They are going to push up the stairs through the smoke past him, and LSN with the M16 is going to get the knock, and it's going to be the full kill.
Quickly making work of that member from Method. Mole Man going to be going down and out, leaving Method with just 3 players to push on here in the early game. Method, they shifted out of Pachinki, but are not able to avoid these early game engagements.
Yeah, I mean, luckily for them, the other 3 players are nowhere near that area. But to me, that just looks like bad scouting. Victory 5 have been going into that area for the first 2 games so far. And so the fact that Method felt comfortable, or at least Moleman felt comfortable to go that far east into their area is just a little bit of a poor decision, I have to say. But the other 3 players, they are all together right now. They're close to where Team Secret are, right here in Ferry Pier. But this is where all of Secret are, so they're not so spread out. Usually when you see people loot around Ferry Pier, they have a little bit of a spread going on because there's not enough loot in that immediate area, but they likely saw how many people dropped out of the plane. In the southwest side alone, we have Method, Divine, Secret, Na'Vi, as well as X-Quest just marginally north of Quarry. So there is a little bit of pressure around there, and all those teams are going to have to move northeast into the circle.
Absolutely, they sure will. And here comes the other members from Method, already transitioning into the first circle for their own. I mean, it's been, actually we haven't seen it at all today, Cameron. Method making their way into the circle with more than 1 member alive. Here comes Genji. They weren't able to make it all the way down to that Novo loot spot that they favored for the first 2 games of the day, given our plane path. But they are going to be rotating around the coast, just trying to find whatever favorable loot compounds that they can before they have to make their own transition.
Yeah, they got Simson and his teammate Chelator finally making their way to Novo, but it's quite late. I don't know what happened. They probably tried to go for vehicles but weren't able to find anything, which leaves Loki and Wicked there to loot just around farm. But they could themselves run into Victory 5 as well. Another crate's going to be dropped down. Na'Vi, if they continue to go North George, could have been in a good spot to find it, but unfortunately that's not going to be the case. Valiate is closest to it, but he may not have spotted it or may not even have wanted to go for it, considering that there could be people around that area still.
Yeah, it's likely that crate is going to sit on the map unlooted. Back around the map, though, we can see that Balak and McCoy are able to reunite in this compound, just holding directly north of where M19 is currently rotating, sending out a lead player to get a scout. He's going to be rolling around this compound, trying to bait out some shots if anyone is currently inhabiting it. No shots coming out just yet, but immediately going to be knocked by the AKM from Balak.
They're trying to get more into the more players of M19 rotating in, but they quickly U-turn and try and go away. Constantin takes a couple of shots, but he's able to escape out of this. Elite player, though, unfortunately, is not going to share that same fate. On another side of the map, though, Secret do take a casualty themselves from, I believe, Team 17.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, Cameron, I want to say that some of these drops were a little bit chaotic for a few of our teams, specifically going to be Method and Gen G, just trying to get out of there. I mean, this was just a position where a scout overcommitted before he had truly baited out any shots coming from that compound, and we saw how the rest of his team was ready to crash in on that compound.
Oh, no, M19, they're not out of it just yet. It's Loki here in this building. He's staying a little quiet, though. This may be bad for him, though, because he is alone, doesn't want to take a 1v3 engagement.
Yeah, I mean, if Loki was going to take shots to pressure them off this compound, they needed to come about 15 seconds ago. At this point, M19 is going to be very comfortable in their position, but whether or not they know that Loki is going to be in this building and they play like that, we're going to have to wait and see, because certainly Loki is in a position to quickly drop one of these M19 players.
They certainly don't expect him to be here. And if they walk into the bathroom a little too aggressively, he could get a down and a full flush kill there. The question for Loki is can he get more than that, because he has no teammates around him.
Yeah, I mean, we've already seen 1v3s play out so far in this qualifying event, so we're just going to have to wait and see whether or not Gen G can pull it up. Here goes Constantine, going to be connected on Loki. He's going to be chasing him down with that UMP. Finds the knock and the thirst and the kill. Going to be going down and out. M19 losing yet again another member, left with 2 players to push on.
They're leaving because it was just Example. Bachelin is still further north. Example didn't want to stick in the 1v1. Loki tried to get a couple of shots with the SLR. Not going to connect, but that's still a retreat, and he still holds this compound for himself.
Yeah, and it looks like Victory 5 going to be pushing in on Ghost Compound, where they had just engaged on Elite player from M19. Balak was able to find a connection onto one of the players of Victory 5, but here comes Shandian. He's going to be pushing into the building, currently where Balak, I believe, is holding. Pushing up the stairs, going to be trying to peek, trying to get whatever information he can as the other members of Victory 5 are coming in.
We're going to hold the angle, but M19 still running into trouble. Voxic running past. M19 get out of their vehicles, try and land some shots in, see if they can't punish Voxic. But that's not going to be the case. They're going back in their vehicles, try and find another compound. They may try and go to those yellows in those Yasnaya field. It's not the best spot, but it's at least something for now. And considering how their unsuccessful their early game has been, any spot is going to be a good spot in this first circle.
Absolutely, and there we have it. Vega actually going to be crashing onto the compound where Gen G's Loki was holding as a solo player. Going to be able to find the knock, and here comes Maxizor around the G left with 3 players to push on. They've got 2 down in Novo, 1 across the channel. They are so spread out, not able to provide any support, but here comes a 3v3 engagement between Ghost Gaming and Victory 5.
Turtle did come up to join the rest of his teammates previously, and so as you said, it's a full 3 versus 3. Balak holding an angle, didn't land a couple of shots, but does still scare that player away. Only 1 building to Victory 5's name, but it's arguably the stronger building in this compound. Question is, can they use it to their advantage? Nades come through, but McCoy, it wasn't into his room, and so he takes that information and gets a knock with it.
Spots the head out of LSN, wipes him down with that M416. Here comes the aggressiveness. Ghost knows that they have the advantage right now. McCoy going to be pushing out of this building with the AKM. Bleeding out on the first floor. Arez has been stuck by Landrin. He's going to be spotted out. McCoy dropped to about 1% damage, but ends up getting the knock on the Landrin.
The aggressive maneuver right here is what they needed to take control of this. They didn't want to slowly chip away their own health while they played slow, and now it's just Shandian left. LSN did walk upstairs, but he's going to be the scout right now. Shandian's going to wait to see if anyone pushes up behind them. It's going to be the full team of Ghosts. He sprays through. He gets it down to Balak.
The heads presenting themselves. Turtle just trying to peek up up across that staircase, trying to get some information, some advantage onto Shandian. Not able to do so. Balak going to be crawling down the stairs. The smoke out, able to give a bit of concealment to Shandian, but it looks like Ghost spots him out, spraying into the smoke, and down goes Victory 5 in 16th position here in game number 3.
Wasn't spotted out, but you can certainly hear the unmistakable sounds of the foot hitting the ground when he jumped over that railing, gave all the information that they needed to spray inside. That's Victory 5, as he said, going out first. Rafi from Method. Method still running into trouble. They get a knock against them. In a good position to get a revive, but that still just shows how much pressure is continuously put on them and how much of a struggle they have trying to find a good spot to hold even in the early game.
Certainly 1 minute and 20 seconds until the blue zone has finalized its shrink on circle number 1. All of our players going to have a bit of a sense of urgency behind their backs to start to make those transitions if they have not done so already. We see that Welcome to South George just trying to recover off this. Mirku sticks the res on to Gaxi, so they're going to be holding this compound directly north of Pachinki as a 4-man strong squad.
Extreme 2G still trying to go for more. If you remember from last game, it was Tainted Minds and Extreme 2G specifically that dealt so much damage to WTSG. And after seeing that player up in the kill feed, knowing where he is, WTSG may want to be a little more safe right now. Then again, he is alone, Extreme. So they could decide to go a little more aggressive on his position if they become aware of how spread out Tainted Minds are in the center of this circle. Vega, though, they seem to have a better early game this time around.
Yeah, certainly doing a little bit better than they did in the previous games. Popping over here to the apartments area, we've got Secret Fiend holding into the yellows, looking over to where Juxi and one of the other members of Tainted Minds are currently holding out. These guys getting really compacted into the centralized areas of this circle will be finding targets if they just begin to look for them.
Secret Fiend holding a spot. It's a very, very weak spot, though. His two teammates are north of the river, because while two of them were looting up Fairy Pier, the other two were up north in Severny. And so he still has a little bit of work to join up the rest of his teammates, but he's kind of gifted the circle a little bit. It's going to swing a little bit towards the southeast, and he is relatively central, even though that compound is still quite weak. It's actually Ghost Compound. That's one of the better ones in this position, and so this is when they need to start lighting up. Ghost down in 15th place, one of the favorites of NA. But look on the west side, we got Na'Vi trying to rotate up. They're going to be crossing over XQuest, and so a fight could break out if either of these teams, or both, decide to stop and try and deal damage early game to each other.
Our two teams on the west, two of the furthest teams from this circle, possibly going to be crossing paths here right next to Giorgio Mountain. But here comes the two players from Gen G, who are all the way down in Novo. They took a boat to get all the way down there to get some loot. Going to be eating some blue damage on their transition back up to the north. Over here to XQuest. They're going to be flying in just north of this Chopsticks area. They're going to be holding a very favorable position, I think, for the time being. And it looks like Na'Vi going to be actually taking some casualties here in the process. The bike going to be the ultimate victor of this knock onto Uba.
Yeah, so neither of these teams decided to stop, but Na'Vi's still in a little bit of trouble. Easy pickup from Shade. It's going to slow the rotation down a little bit, though, and so that's something to be concerned about.
Yeah, I mean, you lose a little bit of attrition there. Uba is going to be bleeding out faster if he gets knocked again in this game. Also, a smoke coming out to give some concealment right there. So using a bit of utility that they didn't exactly want to give up this early on. Knight's going to be holding into this compound just to the north of where Team Secret is currently holding. And this is going to be Optic. Hypoc pushing in as a solo player. He's going to hear Subslayer get in the car, now peeking around. He's got the Scar primed. He's able to get a few shots, maybe two connections. Here comes Baja Waka trying to add in some more damage.
Not landing enough connections, but this scaring away of Subslayer still gifts them a strong compound up on the northwestern side. There's a lot of room for them to be able to maneuver around, and some nice angles coming out of that position. XQuest, for their own, are rotating continually to rotate counterclockwise. Going to be going past the yellow sixes east of Fairy Pier.
Yeah, very interesting to see the rotations that are happening. I mean, XQuest, they are taking a far south rotation. This is what we talked about, Cameron, yesterday. The safe rotations, making sure that you don't necessarily go in east or west if you're on those respective sides, but you take the far rotation where you don't expect many teams to be present. And that's exactly what they're going to be doing right now, and they will be rewarded for it, walking into the southern region of circle number 2, completely uncontested.
Na'Vi's rotation is even further. They started on Ruins, and instead of going into the circle north of Rozhok, they're swinging all the way around Yasnaya Lake and Yasnaya City to come in through the field. It's a long rotation, and for a rotation that distance, when you give that many teams enough time to maneuver themselves around, the angle that you're coming in may not be worth it anymore.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of action beginning to pop off as well around the school area, but XQuest just continues on this caravan track into the circle, going to be safely arriving now just to the west of Farm. Now popping out of the car is going to be trying to get some information, see if enemy presence are nearby. Maybe even spotting out. No, I don't think they were able to see that member of Gen G up in the Harry Potter Tower. But back to the 4-man strong squad of Knights holding into this compound. Looks like they're going to be repositioning their vehicles possibly for a quick escape should they need to take it. Optic positioning just a little bit to the northwest of this. So teams beginning to congregate very close to one another in extremely solid compounds given where the circle is.
A couple of shots coming out between the teams right now. But this phase of the game is mostly about positioning and scaring each other away as well. You know, if you got a headshot, might as well take it. But it's really about finding your own team a good spot and able to set yourself up. What's not a good spot, though, is Na'Vi rotating past M19. But M19, they only have 2 players. They weren't able to go super aggressive. But they may be able to get a nice down onto Drainus. He has to pop out of the vehicle in the field. You can see on the minimap. But the rest of the Na'Vi players, they're going to be able to rotate continuously past.
Yeah, Drainus. And if he continues to go that way, he might actually be finding a beautiful crate for his efforts. Going to have to wait and see, but certainly this is exactly what M19 wanted to happen. They did not want to face off against the 4-man strong squad of Na'Vi as 2 solo players here in this game. Drainus, though, going to be wrapping around that eastern side yet again, avoiding the blue damage, just trying to also avoid the shots coming out from Bachelin and Example.
Navi's spot in this map actually isn't that bad, even though it is on the edge, but we know they like to play the edge. That's their favorite spot. They are not fans of going dead center. It's not in their real skill set. It doesn't go towards what they're best at as much, but we'll see where the next circle goes because the second one is just closed, and it's going to be still mostly center, marginally towards the southeast, and this makes Ghost's spot still really, really strong.
Yeah, but it looks like some members of Team 17 possibly going to be pushing down on top of them. Popping over here, though, back to Method. It's going to be Raffy on the second story of this barn, just trying to peek out of the windows, see if he sees anything to feed to his team as far as information goes. Vega's Maxizor, though, going to be taking some damage, and this time it's going to be Navi on the offensive. Going to be disabling this vehicle, not going to let Maxizor get out of this area safely at all as they continue to rain down Hellfire.
Yeah, and there's actually XQuest rotating into this dip as well, but they're turning away because all the shots coming in, not just from Vega, but also Navi. A couple of vehicle collision is going to slow down their retreat as well, but they want none of this drama. Sure, Navi. Oh, no, actually, they're not trying to take this position, or are they? I can't tell if Maxizor wants to get on the bike or not. He is. Oh, but the tire goes out. The bike stayed too long, and this traps two players inside this dip. Navi still dealing heavy damage to Team Vega. XQuest, they're having to pull back on top of this hill. It's just barely inside the circle, but it's a really weak spot right now.
Ooh, extremely difficult, but here comes Optics push onto Knight's compound. Bahawaka going to be dropped almost immediately from the AKM of Krema, but Valiate around the wall going to be trying to see if it's going to be safe to pick up the res. For the time being, he knows that there are enemy threats from all over that are going to be looking now in this direction, given all the audible cues that are popping off.
Smitty steals that kill away, takes out Bahawaka. A nade come out from Drayden, though. Goes too far. Valiate, he should really think about retreating, but instead he's just going to pop a smoke. Uba, though, pushes forward onto Vega, wants a nade, it blows up the vehicle, but it doesn't get another kill. Vampire Game has been knocked. Maxizor tries to swing on the side and does get the far peak onto Uba, but immediately traded out by Shade. That's 2 down for Vega.
A tough spot to be in for Vega. Maxizor, he was trapped in there. UAZ disabled, had his teammate come in, try to help him out, but the motorcycle got disabled as well, and that's going to be 2 members of Vega going down and out. Able to get a quick trade, though, onto Uba, so not too bad in the grand scheme of things, but I think you don't want that to happen. That's going to be the SKS from Shade, finishing off Maxizor and Vampire from Vega. Uba going to be rezzed, moving on, going to be picking up some of the loot, maybe some armor off of these players. Certainly we know that he was whittled down from those shots coming out from Vega before they were wiped out.
It's a very strong dip that Navi have stolen away from Vega. Vega are still alive. They still have 2 players in a compound west of them. But now they're in a position, Navi, to take more shots. M19 following a similar rotation that they spotted Navi do earlier. But they're going to be driving directly into XQuest, I think, if they continue to go this direction. XQuest still on top of this hill, and they hear the vehicles. They're trying to run out, trying to find the angles.
Bachelin getting so close to XQuest right now. They heard the vehicle, instantly getting the knock on him. AK from XQuest with the Scar capitalizes fully on what they were able to hear, what they were able to come up with. Now M19 left to push on here in game number 3 as a solo player. Not what they were wanting to do, especially after a strong finish in game number 2.
XQuest aren't that many good spots for them to go to. You can still see them making their decision. Do they want to drive into Navi? Do they want to drive into the remaining players of Vega? Or do they want to run west into Gen G? Optic, though, they have made a new decision. Instead of trying to fight out the Knights, they're going to come into the apartments past school. Or at least most of them. They're still missing High Puck up on the north, trying to give a little bit of an Overwatch position to help out his teammates while they can. But Subslayer is in their building, holding the top floor.
Holding the top floor, calling in the backup from his other 3 teammates down from the south. We can see Extreme 2G, Benchu, and Juxi all making a rotation up. Here comes Valiate, though. He knows that someone is in this building. He's going to be watching his angles as carefully as possible as he continues to push up. But Subslayer hiding behind this door with the ready to automatic spray down any player that walks through.
We heard Tainamine say earlier that Subslayer is the only person on their team who can use a UMP. So certainly that may mean that he is quite dangerous with that in his hands. We'll see if Optic want to push up past the first floor at this position in the game, especially with the lack of scouting that they've been unable to employ on this position. They know that there is a very big likelihood that there is someone in the floor above them.
Absolutely. As we can see on the minimap, a lot of rotations now being made. 15 teams remaining, 49 players alive. The blue zone will be pushing in 1 minute, and shots are coming out all over the map. We've got MVP shooting at Ghost Gaming. We've got Optic trying to push up into these apartments where Subslayer is currently holding. Knight's going to be rotating around as well, drawing the firepower from Juxi.
Trying to grab this little shack, but they're still taking shots from the 2 players of Secret, hiding in that yellow. Trying to send some return fire as well. Kramer also swinging around the backside to join in with his teammates. Or maybe not.
3 vehicles for the Knights, not too bad to have in this late game. Going to be able to provide them with the opportunity to get some cover. But Hypok, one of the members that we saw very far north, trying to push down to reunite with his teammates, going to be dropped, and he is so far away from his other squad that he is not going to be able to get res. Na'Vi crashing in on this compound, though. Vega capitalizing on it in spades, and they're able to eliminate Na'Vi in 15th position.
Not what Na'Vi were hoping for. Usually they're not a team to try and bomb in on vehicles, but they felt that that was their only choice, and they get punished heavily for it. The 2 remaining members of Vega were all that was needed to Valiant, though. They're trying to themselves. 17, though. They're in a pretty central spot of the circle, finding an angle on a couple members of WTSG. Vard already dead. Larson now taken down, this time by Turtle, so it's a crossfire between 2 separate teams onto WTSG.
And here are Knights still trying to do whatever they can with this position. 2 of the members have departed from the shack just a few meters behind this rock. They've got the UAZ for a little bit of additional cover as well, just trying to avoid shots coming from Secret's compound. Trying to also put out some damage as well, and that's going to be Voxic with a huge Mini 14 connection onto Secret 17.
The other 2 members of Secret are there in that building, but here comes Valiant trying to roll through as well. I believe his last main player on his team, and not anymore. He gets taken out. It's going to be Optic, another low position finish for them.
Yeah, a lot of inconsistency for these top teams that we've seen adjust throughout the leaderboards over the course of our 2 days starting off this event. But here it comes. The res is going to be stuck from Kramer onto Voxic. They've got him back up. Voxic lost a helmet in the process, though. So this is what we talk about, the attrition game that these teams have to fight through, trying to make it into the late game with as much armor, as many meds, and as much utility in the form of smokes and frags as possible.
Genji pushing forward, trying to find, example, the last remaining player of M19, and Wicked with the side angle is able to do so, wipes him out, and that's M19, the victors of last game, going out in 13th. Genji still strong with 3 members left, taking control of the edge of the southeastern side of the circle.
Once again, playing into this inconsistency that we're seeing throughout the games. I mean, it's absolutely incredible how we are seeing teams play up and down throughout the course of today's games here on Erangel. Raffi from Method going to be laying in a prone position. So many different teams kind of rotating up that hill from him. But here is Secret's compound. We saw 17 get knocked from Voxic. They return fire onto Voxic, able to get a knock onto Knights. But now both of these teams are going to be watching locked onto one another.
Stream 2G from TM, the star player of last game, does get knocked and finished out by Raffi, who are holding the edge of the hill, the eastern edge. But Xcris is taken out by Jet from Divine and gets finished off as well. So Method still aren't out of this. There's only 2 players left alive, and they're squashed between 2 teams.
Circle number 5 has popped. We're going to be going up to the northeast from where we were previously located. And a lot of teams, Cameron, going to be having to make rotations specifically from the southwest off of Potato Hill, Pachinki Hill, where so many teams are currently inhabiting. We've got Divine, we've got Method, we've got Tainted Minds, all needing to make their way out of this position.
And Method know how much of struggle they are in right now. They are pinned down from both sides. You can see them lying prone. They're waiting to see if they can't get fed any information from those teams before they make a move themselves. In the meantime, we got XQuest overlooking down on the MVP on the opposite side, 4v4, having to make their way southwest into the circle themselves. But they want to take care of each other. One team wants to wipe the next before they can push in. But they both have to worry because you can see on the minimap shots coming out from Ghost.
Shots coming out from Ghost, trying to find those connections off the northern side of the circle. XQuest trying to make their way up, but they will be pushing into MVP if they continue on that path, which it looks like they're going to be diverting back down to the south, rotating away from MVP. Certainly they hear the cars departing at this moment in time. Secret now finding themselves on the northwestern side of things, going to have to find a bit of a rotation for themselves as Knights Kramer going to be spotting out Smitty with a Scar, taking him down and out.
That leaves just Fiend up for Team Secret, and you already see that he was spotted out by a couple of squads having to deploy a smoke, and he gets immediately wiped by Drayden from the Knights. Method, on the other hand, they're in a little bit of a fight with Divine. 2 downs for Divine. Nades coming through. Actually, 3 down, I should say. It's just Lev is left. Nades aren't coming onto this position, and he's going to be able to get the revive onto Jet. But no, he stops because Raffi swings around the side. He doesn't find the connections there, but gives his position away.
Needs to rotate around this tree, not able to do so. Raffi going to be finding a connection on to Jet. This area is absolutely insane as to what we are seeing erupt. We expected this to happen with so many teams needing to make far rotations from the southwest. But Cameron, who is going to be able to make it out of here alive as Tainted Minds is now joining the fight. Jukesy able to find a beautiful connection with the SKS on 8C.
Look how much damage this blue is doing to Raffi. He has no time to even revive his teammate, just has to heal himself, allow Tainted Minds to run through. 8C gets finished off. It's just Raffi and Lev is left, the 2 snakes. rolling in, but now they get spotted out themselves. It's going to be Team 17 trying to find an angle onto them. So everyone leaving the southwestern side is getting punished.
Absolutely. Team 17 just making easy work of all of these different squads. Method going to be wiping out Divine Esports from that southwestern position. Raffi with the beautiful shots going to be coming up extremely clean. The tree as the blue approached his back down here, or up here rather. MVP going to be positioning themselves accordingly, but here comes Knights. They've heard all of this engagement popping off. They've heard Team 17 spraying down at not just Tainted Minds but also Method as well, and Tainted Minds going to be going out in 8th position.
It was actually
maybe
Raffi that
position,
yeah, well, either way, it was Raffi that finished off Tainted Mind. 17 may be able to be aware of that, but they're still checking out in the blue just in case. But there they go. They get the final shots onto Genji, chiming in with XQuest. So that's going to be the Korean team out in 7th, top 6 right now. The Knights just north of them. XQuest with 4, Ghost with 3, MVP with 4. There are a lot of really strong teams as far as population is in this server.
Yeah, absolutely. And we look at what is happening around the map. Here is Team 17. They're going to be holding in these yellow shacks, just trying to get some cover before this push has to happen. About 35 seconds until the blue zone will be shrinking, and off of that far northwestern side, it's going to be quite a trek.
They may have waited too long, though, because this gave Knights the opportunity to get in front of them. And so 17, they're going to have to push into another team to get into the blue themselves. That is if they don't wrap with these vehicles down south. And that does look like to be the direction that they are heading off in. 47 Gamer giving it a little bit of covering fire onto the Knights. Texas is having to get forced back because of it. But this does give Team 17 the opportunity to leave, even though 47 did just get taken out.
Yeah, 47 Gamer going to be immediately dropped by Voxix. AKM, the ultimate finalizing kill, going to be coming out with a Mini 14 all around the map. Action is beginning to pop off. MVP going to be taking some, or rather putting out some damage on the XQuest, but Knights are thirsty. They do not want Team 17 to get out of their grasp. Kramer going to be aiming down his sights, trying to get whatever shots he can.
MVP is eliminated, but Kramer still wants to go for blood. For 17, gets a spray down onto Show. It's just, I think, 2 left from Team 17 right now, QMCC and Shox, and Shox has dropped very low himself. A smoke's going to be thrown out by QMCC for a little bit of cover. Show gets finished off by Texas, but a nade coming in, forcing QMCC out of his position. Takes a bit of damage, but has to group up with his teammate.
Yeah, going to have to push away from this, but the action is popping off here on the southern side of the map, Cameron, as another connection comes out from Voxic with the Mini 14 onto QMCC. The vehicle explosion going to be wiping out the 2 remaining.
Now, XQ Cobra able to pick up their teammates that they lost during MVP's assault before MVP were wiped out from Ghost and XQuest combined together. And they are holding control of this eastern position. Knights, now with the southwestern side, are close to the lone main member of Vega, but they are taking shots onto the vehicles held by XQuest on the opposite side of the map.
Kramer needs to be careful. They do have a solo player from Vega lying in the grass. The Snake is ready to prey if he gets the opportunity, but until then, waiting patiently for that right moment if it comes. Kramer still behind the tree, trying to see if he can get any sights out. For the most part, all of these teams going to be safe on the edge of the circle. 4 teams remaining, 12 players alive, and it's going to be Voxic yet again with that Mini 14 on to XQuest this time.
Z9 Max dropped. Should be an easy revive. They have a little bit of a defilade with the hill to be able to get that. Please don't drop that frag. That is a frag grenade, not a smoke grenade. But Voxic drops the second one. AK down. It's now 2 down, trying to go for more. He sees a body hiding under. It's Cobra down 2. There's only 1 remaining member of XQuest left.
Voxic is absolutely tearing through the only squad left on the map with 4 players alive, but our Snake in the grass. Vegas Kippy able to get a quick knock onto Texas, and a thirsty kill will be securing those 7 points for his team before he ultimately gets dropped out. Vegas squad going out in 4th place.
Revives are coming in from XQuest due to the help of the smokes, as well as a distraction from the last player of Vega. It's going to be still 4 alive for XQuest. They took so much damage, but this is going to chip through not just their armor, but also their meds. So the next time they get people dropped down, they may not be so successful in reviving back up to relatively full health. And look at all the shots still laying onto them from Knights.
Voxic just continues to put out the damage. His ADR for this game is going to be absolutely insane. The Mini 14 is his bread and butter, and he is showing that off right now as he continues to try to make these connections right now. Just sending the information to Kramer. Kramer still has to worry about Ghost Gaming up to the north.
Balak gets another... No, it gets dropped actually by Cobra. The other two members of Excess swinging north, but Turtle is here for the trade. Drops another one, tries to go for the second. The peak coming through off the side of the rock, and the blue's pushing in as well. There's no time to get the revive, and the blue pushes AK out. Turtle taking some blue damage himself, but he dealt enough damage to XQuest to give him a little bit more of an opportunity. Lays a smoke out as well. Balak is not going to get off the two players. And sights on him from Knights. Kramer laying the shots through. Can he find the connection? He does. That's going to be XQuest out in third. Just Knights and Ghost.
Knights and Ghost. Turtle trying to do whatever they can to rack up the points. This is exactly what Ghost Gaming needs to try to climb out of those 9th through 16th positions to get into the money, into the finals, coming up in just a few days. But McCoy, he's now prepping himself for the engagement coming out. Drayden knows exactly where he is, popping nades down in his direction. But will Boxic come up and provide the flank opportunity, get the opposite lines of sight that Drayden is not able to capitalize on?
It's Kramer on the side actually to find the angle. Turtle did get dropped, and this gives Kramer the opportunity to swing around the side. McCoy is getting absolutely shoved into a corner. Takes a little bit of damage from the blue. He has no room to maneuver around. Had to employ a smoke, and at this position, he may want to just consider going into the blue, and I think that is the play at hand. He gives his points away to the Abyss, but it's going to be Knights coming out on top with 12 kills.
What an incredible finish from all of our top 3 teams. I mean, the way that that played out, Cameron, was absolutely incredible. But the real story is going to be Knights coming out with that first place finish, and what a commanding finish, especially for Boxic.
Absolutely. It was, what, 12 kills total? Voxic with 4, Kramer with 4, Texas 3, and Drayden with 1. That's a pretty even spread. So that shows that it's not just one player doing a lot of the work. It is all of Knights all banding together, and this is going to put them back up nearer to the top of the leaderboards. Ghost, though, they have had a very big struggle so far with the first 7 games, but they do get a second place finish with 10 kills themselves. Recently, we saw Na'Vi jump up from 8th position to 2nd within 1 game. They don't have as many points this time around, but this is still a very good start to climb up from 15th.